Hey, what's going on, parents and athletes? Now, I'm going to go over the game format for Under Armour Rise Flag football. Now, 5-on-5 or 5v5, however we say it nowadays, right? But 5v5 is the format. 5 players on offense, 5 players on defense. Every player must have a mouthpiece while on the field. Safety is the most important thing for our athletes. We want to make sure that although we don't have pads and helmets and stuff, we still want to protect our heads by using a mouthpiece, getting our players used to wearing a mouthpiece as early as possible. So coaches, as soon as you start practicing, get those mouthpieces in, have those players get used to biting down on those mouthpieces and have them ready for game day. The game field is 25 yards by 50 yards. So it's not your typical football field where it's 50 yards wide, 100 yards long, right? So it is 25 yards wide and 50 yards long. And on each side, the end zones are 5 yards long. So essentially the playing field is 40 yards. Each game consists of 2 halves, 2 20-minute halves, and halftime will just be 5 minutes to allow the coaches to adjust their strategy for the second half. Each possession starts at the 5-yard line, and that offensive team will have 3 downs to go to midfield, which is now a first down, and then 4 downs to score. All players are eligible to receive a pass. Even the center snapping the ball can run out, run a route, catch the ball, try to score a touchdown. So all receivers are eligible downfield. There will be no rushing the quarterback with the exception of grades 7 through 8. If a quarterback fakes a handoff or hands the ball off to a running back, then the defensive players attack the individual with the ball. So even on a play action fake, the defensive players can now rush the quarterback and pull his flag in behind the line of scrimmage. Scoring is the traditional 6 points for a touchdown, and then the coaches will make a decision whether they want to go for 1 point or 2 points. 1 point, if the coaches decide to go for a 1-point conversion, they'll start at the 5-yard line. If the coach decides to do a 2-point conversion, then they'll start at the 10-yard line. The coaches can run or pass, whether it is a 1-point conversion or a 2-point conversion, just get the ball in there. If the defense pulls the flag of the quarterback or running back in their own end zone, it is a safety, and that safety is 2 points. Now let's jump into the division rules. Kindergarten through 2nd grade, there will be a 45-second play clock for the offense to initiate the play or snap the ball. In this division, they will have the opportunity to run the ball as many times as they please. 1 coach is allowed on the field during the offensive possession and the defensive possession. There will be a 5-second sack count. So the referees will count kind of like basketball style, count 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000 sack. And then the player will be down and the ball will be spotted back at the line of scrimmage and not where the player is at the end of that set count. In this division, we really want to make sure that these athletes are understanding the football fundamentals. So coaches during practice in this division work on receiving a handoff, work on giving handoffs, right? Work on exploding out of the backfield and passing the line of scrimmage, trying to score a touchdown. As far as defensively, work on pulling flags, work on working angles and things like that. This division, kindergarten through 2nd grade, we have to push the fundamentals and have them understand what is going on, because I'm sure we've been to games where athletes are running in the opposite direction because they just don't understand yet. Let's focus on the fundamentals. So the 3rd grade to 4th grade division rules. In this division, there's a 30-second clock instead of the 45-second clock that the kindergarten through 2nd grade division has. We do this to speed up the game, get it a little faster. And now, instead of having unlimited runs, they're only allowed to have 2 runs per possession. 1 run in the first half of the field and then another run on the second half of the field. In this division, will be no runs for extra points. So whether the coach opts to take the 1-point conversion or the 2-point conversion, they have to pass the ball. This encourages athletes to get the ball in the air, scan the field, pass a ball, catch the ball. So coaches, work on a lot of passing and catching in this division, in the 3rd to 4th grade division. And lastly, the sack count comes down from 5 seconds to 4 seconds in the 3rd and 4th division. Moving on to the 5th grade to 6th grade division. The 5th grade to 6th grade division is very similar to the 3rd and 4th grade division, with the exception that only one run per possession, that teams will only be able to run once per possession. Now in the 3rd and 4th grade division, they're able to run once in the first half of the field and then once in the second half of the field. For the 5th and 6th grade division, they only have an opportunity to run once during that offensive possession. And that is so that we get the ball in the air. Flag football is all about fast-paced football. Again, in this division, it's a 4-second count for a sack. The 5th and 6th grade division also marks the beginning of having no coaches on the field. So coaches will have call their plays from the sidelines and ensure that their players understand the plays and what is being called, so that they can execute the way they intend to every single game. Now for the 7th and 8th grade division, it's again a 30-second clock. There's 3 seconds for the quarterback to throw the ball or else he will be sacked. And the defense can now rush the quarterback, but they only get 1 blitz per possession. So use that blitz wisely. And whoever's going to rush the quarterback, whoever's going to blitz, needs to identify themselves to the referee and say, blitzer, right? Raise your hand, get the attention of the referee, let them know that you are going to be blitzing the quarterback for this possession. As far as rushing the quarterback, you must be 3 yards in front of the line of scrimmage before rushing the quarterback. If for whatever reason you're within those 3 yards and you pass the line of scrimmage, the referee will call a 5-yard penalty for offsides. If the ball is snapped and you're within those 3 yards, you must go back past the 3 yards and then go attack the quarterback. So at the beginning of the game, the referees and the captains and coaches will come to midfield for a coin toss. That coin toss will determine whether the winning team of the coin toss receives the ball or defers to the second half. The play clock will continuously run throughout the entire game until the last minute of the game. Within the last minute of the game, the clock will stop for incomplete passes, players going out of bounds, quarterback sacks, kneel downs, change of possession. A few things to remember: that at halftime, teams will switch sides. Also on the offensive side, when teams are on offense, they have to have at least 3 players on the line of scrimmage. Your center and 2 wide receivers, 1 on each end, on the line of scrimmage, you'll be fine. 1 player at a time can be in motion. If multiple players are in motion at once, then there will be a flag. Another thing to remember is this is flag football, a non-contact sport. So there will be no tackling whatsoever. The referees will use their judgment to determine whether the tackle was intentional and then act appropriately as far as penalties. In order for a receiver to be in bounds, he or she has to have at least 1 foot in the playing field to count as a catch. The ball will be placed where the flag is pulled and not where the ball is when the flag is pulled. So if your athlete is stretching the ball out, it doesn't matter. It's where the flag was pulled. So interceptions can be returned for touchdowns. Pick sixes, you gotta love them. Snapping the ball. Kindergarten through 4th grade can side saddle snap, which means they turn their bodies facing a sideline and are able to snap the ball to the quarterback instead of snapping it between their legs. Grades 5th, 8th have to snap the ball through their legs. So coaches, whatever you decide works best for your team, make that decision. K through 4, you're able to side saddle snap, and 5th through 8th has to be between the legs. Overtime format. So in the event of an overtime, referees, players, and coaches will go back to midfield for a coin toss. Whichever team wins the coin toss will receive the ball first at the 5-yard line and have 5 yards. They'll need 5 yards to score a touchdown. They'll get 1 play, right? Or 1 possession. If they score, the opposite team will get a possession at the 5-yard line to score a touchdown. If both teams score a touchdown and go for the 2-point conversion, because there is no 1-point conversions in overtime, and they're tied, then they'll go into a double overtime. There will not be another coin toss. Whoever won the coin toss in the initial overtime and received the ball, the opposite team will receive the ball for the double overtime. This format will continue until we crown a winner. For more in-depth knowledge of the rules, they are posted on our website. You can go to www.uariseflag.com, scroll down to Find Your League, North Carolina, Fayetteville, and then click on that rules drop-down menu. Dig into the rules, learn the rules, whether you're a coach, a parent, an athlete, learn the rules. Let's have a great season. See you out on the field.